And you know that EcoGold is a finalist in the Equestrian Social Media Awards?
Yes, I voted.
So why should people vote for us in categories 1, 2, and 14?
People should be voting for EcoGold in categories 1, 2, and 14 because I'm a huge fan of customer service, and I think EcoGold is honestly one of the best companies. Very friendly, very knowledgeable. If you have any questions about any of their products, you can call right away. And they have like the best products out there, I think, for our horses. And you know, if you want to look good and you want your horse to feel good, I think EcoGold is the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great products that look good, and you know, you don't just use them because they're available. You use them because they're the best that is available, and you want to use them. Wait. I couldn't tell you that there's just one. I don't think there's so many people that I admire. I remember when I was a young teenager, like 12 or 13, getting the Badminton 50th anniversary photo commemorative book and just pouring through it page by page and just wanting to know what it was that those people had that I needed. I don't think I can pick one, quite honestly.
There's lots of people that like influenced me. I mean, I got to be a working student at Chesterland, and the first day I met Bruce Davidson, that was Bruce Davidson. You know, like, I mean, Mark Todd, Andrew Nicholson, like Mary King. Like, I don't think you can narrow it down to one. Just, I mean, hopefully one day we'll be up there. Someone's gonna be sitting in this chair and going, I know who it is.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't think you can narrow it down to just one person. Charisma.
Opposition buzz.
Yes. Doty.
Love
Doty.
him.
Yeah.
I just love him. I think, you know, he might not be everybody's style, but I think he's just so tenacious. It looks like a blast.
No. Charisma.
Yeah.
Little. I'm all about
Your
little.
size.
Yeah. Go in a start box, leave a start box, go cross country. I used to do jumpers, and the first time I went cross country, I was addicted. That adrenaline rush, it was amazing.
I never did anything else. I did my 200 or 300 shows that my coach made me do before I went to an event, because I was very little and I think she wanted me in a controlled setting. But I've never done anything else, but I think that the community of eventers is just so special. I can't really say how it is at other horse shows, but I can't imagine that it's all like we are. I mean, it's just so nice to go to a horse show and have everybody be serious about their job, but laid back about the whole thing, and everybody's friends.
Everyone helps each other. Like in the warm up, like, you know, if I'm not there to help my students, Gina will help them. Like it's more of a community. And as for little kids, you get to put on whatever colors you want for cross country. If you like hot pink and green, have at it.
Yeah.
So,
my pony had a red and blue brow band.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. It's just a different vibe in eventing. I think. One, we're really thankful. You know, it's hard. Like, I'm not a very big person. I don't like asking for stuff, so for someone to be like, hey, I want to sponsor you, one, that means I've done a good job of what I'm doing, and it's special, like, to be riding around in, like, good products, you're representing a company, like, that's a big step, and that means that they're trusting you to do a good job as well, and, I mean, I appreciate absolutely everything I've gotten, and, you know, we don't make a lot of money, so anything we do get is really helpful, and I mean, I'm more than thankful.
Yeah, it's nice to know that our horses get the best things that they need, and if I necessarily had to go out and buy something, he might not get the top of the line product, but to work together with a company, I mean, we advertise each other a little bit, and to be able to work with a company like that is just, it's a good feeling to have that support. something in the water.
That's funny.
You'll have to ask John's theory because he's the one who bred that theory.
Makes jog really fun though, because like we get to dress up and that's your first impression. I think I don't know.
It's nice, when you put so much effort into like putting yourself and your horse together. It's nice to feel like other people notice that you look good.
Yeah.
Well, if you ride for a living, you're not going to be very rich.
No, I definitely don't do it for the money. I mean, I do it. I love it. I get to be outside. I'm with animals. There's very few people I think in the world that get to say they love their jobs, and I am so lucky to do it.
I just think if you have a passion for something and you even when you're not doing it, you're thinking about ways to do it better, then it's something you should spend more time doing. And why would you you probably spend half your life at work, so why not spend it doing something that you love? I mean, maybe at some point in my life I will have a different profession that will allow me the freedom to do what I love on the side, but it's not in the immediate future. So in the meantime, I just get to do what I like and use my earnings to do what I like. So it's a win-win. Everything gets more expensive. I don't think the sport necessarily is getting more expensive in relation to the way that just everything in life gets more expensive.
Grain's getting more expensive, diesel's more expensive, lessons are more expensive, like everything, it's, just life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One, promote it and get some more like big corporate sponsors in there. Like for instance, we have the Derby Cross, which I would love to fly out for and ride in, which is I think it's March 4th.
Mm-hmm. In Wellington.
Yeah, and like there's an example where we're bringing like some jumper riders in just to promote it a little bit more. I think it's really important that it doesn't matter what level of riding you're at, but the more members we get, the bigger as a group we're going to start looking.
I'm not I don't have a big background on what's currently going on in pro, but I know that their basis is basically just to make it so that event riders have a support network, and I think eventually they'd like to turn it into a formal arrangement where as a professional rider, a professional trainer, you knew that you would have, health benefits, or if you hurt yourself, something, would be there as a safety net. And not only that, but the sport is going to need
that backbone there.
Absolutely. We're going to need somebody to get excited about it, and the only way you can do that is to simply talk about it. The more people talk about it, the more chance you have of the right person hearing about it and getting behind the sport. So I agree with Holly, the more members, and it's very young in its stages, and it can be hard to look at something and say, okay, I'm going to pay my membership fee, but what is it going to do for me? But I think the thing about pros, you have to think a little bit more long term. Yeah, you can't say, okay, so in the year 2011, I'm going to pay my membership fee and this is what I get. It's kind of, I love the sport, I want to have a sport in 10 years, and I want to have a better sport in 10 years. I think you kind of have to be willing to invest in that a little bit. Your time too, not just your membership fee.
You're going to make me cry.
I know.
Go first.
No, you go first.
Okay, well, I have an incredibly supportive family. I think when they put me in riding lessons and bought me my first pony, they thought I'd turn 15 and give it all up. And
Boys.
yeah, they were like, oh, it'll be fine, she'll have cars and boys, and then she'll quit riding. And, so I think for the fact that they never really signed up for this, they're incredibly supportive, and they do what they can, and they do more than what anyone reasonably should do for their 23-year-old child. And not only the support of enabling me, but the support of just being there. And when I have a tough day, or if I feel like my expectations of myself are bigger than what I can fill. You know, if that emotional support that a mom or a dad is, anyways, I think is more important to athletes than anybody really realizes. So to have a family who supports you and loves you, even though they question your sanity and your choice of work, it's wonderful to know that you have a supportive family. And my little brother, even though he doesn't ride, doesn't really understand the drive behind it all, he is supportive as well, even though my very expensive sport has probably cut into things that he may have wanted to do. But I have an amazing family. They try very hard to make everything I want to happen.
With me, it's a little bit different. Like my parents got divorced when I was 16, so my mom stepped up to the challenge, like, you know, to buy Hank. He wasn't that, like, expensive of a horse, but, like, you know, she remortgaged the house and, you know, made every single sacrifice she could to help me chase my goals and dreams. And, you know, like Steph was saying, it doesn't matter if I'm had a good show, bad show, whatever, like, she's always the first phone call. Doesn't matter. Like, she's the one there supporting me. Like I said, I didn't have a riding lesson until I was close to 17, just about 18. My mom taught me, and you know, and I attribute a lot of my riding skills today because of her. Like, she was the base to my riding. She's at every show. She's my biggest fan. And then in my case, I have a husband, and oh, my poor husband. Didn't know anything about horses when we first met. I'm like, I'm at the barn from 7 in the morning to 7 at night, and never once has he told me I can't go to a show, I can't do this. You know, like, he's giving me everything I can to go be the best at what I'm doing. And you know, he's so funny. Like, last night he was even saying, I know what a canter is now. Like, I'm like, all right, you know, like, he is so supportive and would do anything to make me better. And I'm really, really lucky to have a huge support system. And same thing, my brother played hockey, and I always relate things, you know, with him with hockey, so he understands. You know, like, for instance, when Hank was 8, I had a huge offer to sell him, and he's like, well, why don't you sell him? And, you know, I said to him, well, it's kind of like if you had a pair of skates that would kind of push you in the right direction to skate in the Stanley Cup final, would you sell them? And he said no. I'm like, well, there you go. And from that point on, he's, you know, understanding a little bit more. And, you know, just to get like a text or some writing on my wall when I'm at a show, love you, support you, good luck, like.
Yeah, it means a lot. I think, you know, everybody relies on their family, but those of us in sport and those of us who are so far away from home, it just is nice to know that you have a family who's don't do it.
I know.
That you have a family who just wants it as badly as you do.